And here we are back in for another edition of Trey's Chapter Live on a beautiful Friday in Texas. And I got Kyle here with 190 Smoke Meats. How you doing, Kyle?
Doing fine. How you doing?
Doing awesome, man. We've got some stuff we want to talk about. We got some local stuff and national stuff I want to talk to y'all about real quick. Yardbird's opening up in Dallas September 17th. You can go on my Facebook page and you can see the posts, see the pictures. It's going to be a wonderful place in Dallas to hang out and have drinks. They've got a fantastic chef-driven menu. El Rakan, I think I told you this last week, but I'm going to tell you again. El Rakan in Frisco is open back up. It's a fantastic place. They have a whole new menu they've redone during quarantine and during COVID-19. I was over there 2 weeks ago to check it out and spent. I couldn't even eat it all. It's absolutely delicious. So look them up. That's El Rakan. Horseshoe Hill, Grady Spears is opening up in about a week. He posted yesterday and texted me, and he's going to open up in about a week. We're excited about that. Excited about getting Horseshoe Hill open back up. Who wants chicken fried steak? And last but not least, Biscuit Bar opened up in the Fort Worth Stockyard. Have you been to the Biscuit Bar yet?
I have not.
And they've only been doing about 4 years now on their fifth location now. They're just cranking.
Nice.
It's absolutely fantastic. Okay, and I thought the biggest news of the month for September was because of the state fair, Fletcher's Corny Dog, Amber Fletcher and her crew signed a contract with Golden Chick, and you can get Fletcher's Corny Dogs and their funnel cakes, mini funnel cakes, and all the Golden Chicks in Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma for about a month, which is absolutely fantastic. You can go in there and get you a Fletcher's Corny Dog, and so you don't have to go to the state fair. Same exact way they are at state fair. You need to check that out, and all the information's on our social media as well. All right, Deep Ellum Distillery. Y'all know that those guys been pumping those guys for 2 years now. They are coming out with their new whiskey pretty quick, Lead Belly. And Lead Belly was an old blues artist out of Deep Ellum. Do you know that, Ron? Yeah, it's fantastic. Old blues guy from the 40s and 50s, and they named their whiskey after him, which I thought was really cool. And for Christmas, if you're going to have Christmas, if you want to looking for a good Christmas deal or to send somebody, bacon-flavored candy canes. Unbelievable.
Nice.
Unbelievable. Bacon flavored candy canes, and they're all the rage right now. They've been all over the news and the radio. All you have to do is Google bacon flavored candy canes, and they're there. And one last thing I want to say before I get over to Kyle is that the Cake Bar in Trinity Groves has a new vending machine, and the vending machine spits out slices of cake. So you can go to the vending machine and you can put your money in, you get the choice of cake, and it just comes right out. And if you want to go to my social media, Trey's Chowdown, I've got the pictures and everything on there about the machine and where it is located. I mean, I just thought that was fantastic. Have you seen those pictures?
I did, yeah.
That seems like a nightmare to me for a chef or a pastry chef to keep that thing full, and because I know it's going to be fresh all the time. But
yeah. Well, it's out in front of their store, isn't it?
Yeah. But even if they're not there, you can still get it. But I'm glad, I've been over there, and they have lines, probably like everybody else right now that's open, but they have lines that are 30, 40 deep. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know, man.
It's delicious over there.
Killing it, yeah.
All right, 190 Smoked Meat. So I just first of all want to know how the name came about.
Well, so we were looking for a good name,
right?
And was playing around with the idea of really when you're smoking, it's just like temperature's such an important key,
right?
And 190 is just kind of a threshold temperature when you're smoking brisket and pulled pork. That's but sometimes people just think that it's like the golden number, and there is no perfect number, right? Like every brisket's gonna finish at a different temperature, but it is a threshold number. I don't think I've ever pulled a brisket that was worth a damn that was below 190.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it has to do with the internal temperature of when you're temping meat and checking it out.
When I saw the name, that's what I thought it was, but I didn't want to say that and look like an idiot without asking you first.
No. I mean, we get all sorts of guesses. Some people think that it's related to George Bush, the highway. And there's all sorts of different stuff on it. But if you actually look, the logo is supposed to be a like the face of a meat thermometer.
Gotcha.
And so 190 reading across, it's kind of just, it's kind of our number that, when you get there, you're close.
Yeah, you said temperature is pretty much the greatest factor, right? When you're smoking that meat.
Yeah, it is, and it's just something that that you learn that it's worth buying a really nice meat thermometer that can read fast. You're not in your smoker too long.
Yeah,
you can tell where you're at. But yeah, I mean, especially when you're doing your briskets and your pulled porks, those large cuts are, you're just kind of smoking them low and slow and trying to get them real tender.
Yeah.
But then when you're doing salmon, beef tenderloin, chicken, all those different meats have different temperatures.
Salmon's quick, isn't it?
Salmon?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're not cold smoking it, you're hot smoking it. One of the keys is to try to slow salmon down, so that you can get a nice smoke on it without cooking it too fast. Because if you're a little too hot, your salmon will get done in 20 minutes and it doesn't really, take on that smoke flavor.
Be tougher than a woodpecker beak, I assume. So, Kyle, where are you from? Here in Texas?
Yeah, I'm from Dallas.
Awesome.
Yeah,
and you've got a great backstory. I was talking to Ariana about it. You let's tell you, you're from Dallas.
Yeah,
and you go to school. You were an attorney by when you started, right?
Right. Well, when I started, I was just a kid in East Dallas. I live a mile from where I grew up.
Awesome.
Same neighborhood. Kind of ran the gamut. Went to UTD, and then went down to San Antonio for grad school and law school. Spent a bunch of money.
All to come back and smoke meat.
All to just smoke meat. Yeah, I could have. I took the long way.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
But you know what though? Doing that course of it, doing what you did, it probably makes you a little bit smarter for your business, the business side of it as well. Getting all the.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't.
You got to look at it in a positive light, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade that experience for anything, honestly. I mean, it helps you fend for yourself when you're dealing with the
vultures,
unscrupulous landlords.
Yeah, unscrupulous. Oh, there's gonna be a bunch of those right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So tell me, Kyle. So you started smoking when you were a kid, and of course you went to college. But where did you really get the bug? Because you obviously didn't get it at first, or you wouldn't have gone to college. You might have tried something different.
Well, yeah. So I mean, the thing is that I've always liked cooking. I mean, it's always been a passion of mine, and parents taught me. Very blue collar. Kind of. Granddad was a union president. Kind of.
Oh, cool.
Like grew up, middle class at best, and a hardworking family. And they just, nobody in the family had been to college, right? So they just kind of instilled that, like, you got to get an education. I figured, it sounded like the right thing to do. So, I mean, went to school and, was real good at it, got a federal law clerkship and, graduated really high up there and, ended up working for actually a college. I worked for UNT. I was an employment lawyer, did some eminent domain stuff, and it was fun.
Not as fun as smoking, not as fun as doing what you're doing now.
No, I mean, so the bug, I guess, kind of what your question was, is that, so before I was a lawyer, I was, business student, master business student. Really like the idea of going into business, and didn't really see a path, and thought, well, law school was there. We'll give that a go, and so like I had the entrepreneurial bug, and then it was just kind of marrying up that with the passion of cooking, and so. My wife now, we went to school together, and we used to always go back and forth, from Dallas, or she would come up to Dallas with me. She's from Midland. and we passed Buc-ee's, and I was like, as soon as I get out of this damn dorm room, I'm buying a damn smoker. Like, that's coming. You know what I mean? And
that's funny.
And so started doing it, and true to my word, I went to Buc-ee's and got a smoker and a fire pit. Yeah.
So you risk it for the brisket.
Yeah. And then we got a trailer smoker. Dad got one because it's just how it is in my family. If you get something, they're gonna get something bigger and better. Right. Even though he's never smoked shit in his life.
Right. Yeah, that's funny.
So I ended up with that, and I mean, kind of long story short, spent so much time out back smoking that I was like, I'm either gonna have to, she's either gonna make me quit or start making money doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
can't you sit back there and not make any money?
Yeah, it's just too much time in the backyard. You know.
But you know what? All that
washers and drinking beer.
Kitchen washers, drinking beer.
Yeah.
Well, all that time though, you were perfecting how you wanted to cook your meat.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. There was a lot of things that came together. I mean, one of the best stories in the world. I worked for one of the best federal judges that ever existed, Judge Royal Ferguson. He's retired now, but I mean, he's just
not many people can say they work for a federal judge.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean it's it's definitely an honor, and it's a little bit of a prestigious type of thing, and there's a whole lot of story behind getting that deal. But anyways, when I was working for him, one day he was like, man, I gotta, there's this new barbecue place I've been hearing about, and we got to go down there. And the one thing about the judge is that lunch is probably the most important thing in the world, right? Yeah. I mean, he would shut down a jury trial.
Yeah.
Like, hey, it's lunchtime. We never missed a lunch. And you had to go, and you had to pay for yourself.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Because
it's against the law for him to pay for you. But that's what he'd tell you. But whatever. You had to pay for yourself. And you had to go. Yeah. You couldn't be like, I'm going to work on this brief on this. No. Yeah. That won't fly. And you have to eat everything. You can't have like celiac disease or something.
Boy,
as a matter of fact, when we went, so I'm going to tell you the story. When we went, it was Pecan Lodge, right? Justin down there. And sure enough, we go down there, and in the line, we're there 20 minutes early.
Out the door.
He's talking to everybody. And Justin does great stuff, man. I mean, it was real good food. But when we were there, one of my co-clerks, I knew her to be a vegetarian.
Yeah.
And she's over there, and I look at her, and she's like choking down some brisket, and I'm going, and not because the brisket's bad. No. Obviously the brisket's fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's because she's a vegetarian.
Right.
And I was like, Melinda, you don't have to eat that. You know what I mean? Like, but that's just like, that's how much we respected this guy.
Yeah.
And of course he wouldn't have made her eat meat.
Right.
He's a vegetarian, but
he didn't know.
Yeah, he didn't know. And but nobody wants to disappoint the judge. So,
right. I don't think anybody wants to disappoint any judge.
Yeah.
Unless there's something wrong with you.
Right, exactly. That's what they say, right? Good lawyers know the law, and great lawyers know the judge.
That's right.
So, so from there, really at the time was, I was cooking in the backyard, and Pecan Lodge had this great business going on. And I started thinking about it, and then that's when that business sense kicked in. I was thinking, well, I'd already seen street tacos like migrate from South Texas through Austin to Dallas.
Right.
It seems to kind of be the way the stuff goes. Now we have like Fuzzies, Velvet. I mean, just
crazy,
a ton of them.
Yeah.
But when I was in school, you want a street taco, you literally bought it off the street.
Right.
In a Winnebago.
Right,
right. And those are the best.
Right, that's right, yeah.
And so, really at the time, Pecan Lodge was kind of the
thing.
The only guy in town that was really doing some special stuff, you know? I mean, we had kind of your bigger chains and things, but nobody was kind of focusing on that, like, you know, really craft, getting the barbecue just right. And so I felt like there was, you know, just obviously some more market opportunity at that time. And since then, oh man, there's been like,
I tell you, it seems
100 barbecue joints open up.
And you know what? Each one, man, ups their game, man. Comes up with something new, something crazy, something better than what somebody else has got. I mean, it's just the craft barbecue scene has just gone nuts.
Yeah, no, it really has, and you know, and I'm thankful for that. I'm glad that
you know what else it's done. It's demanded perfection out of everybody.
Yeah.
So if you have just an okay barbecue joint, you ain't gonna survive. There's just no way.
And the deal is that you have an okay barbecue joint, you have to charge okay prices.
Right.
And with the onset of everybody getting in, I mean, meat prices are high. You got to buy a quality cut beef, and you just can't afford to sell it for $15 a pound anymore. Yeah. I mean, you know, like, unless you just want to work for free basically. And and that's the other thing. It's a lot of work. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like it's a lot of time. If you don't love doing it, you know, it doesn't hardly make sense.
There is not a craft barbecue guy that I've met or had on my show or talked to or featured or anything from Austin all the way to Paris, Texas, San Antonio that doesn't love what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't think people understand how much work that people see. They see a little 2-minute skit of somebody smoking. They see people eating. They don't understand really what is entailed. You know, they just don't get it.
Well, yeah, I mean, and just think about it, right? Like anybody out there, I love having this conversation, right? They're like, oh, it's $20 a pound, all this, you know. I mean, brisket only costs, you know, they're looking at like the cheap cut at Walmart for $1.99 or something. You're like, where do you begin, right? First of all, that's not great meat. Second of all, you know, are you going to trim it right? And do you even know that you're only going to end up with 50% of what you buy, right? So if you buy a 20-pound brisket, you're going to get 10 pounds meat.
Got a little bit of shrinkage there.
A little bit. A lot of it. I cry every time I'm trimming brisket.
Yeah, I know, you bet you do.
But, you know, I mean, and that's the thing. In Texas, I mean, you know, brisket's king. So you gotta.
It is, definitely.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it right. And it takes the longest. It takes the most labor. It takes the most time. You got to trim it up. Right. You gotta season it right. Bring it to your right temperature, and then it smokes forever.
Yeah.
And then you gotta, you know, make sure that it's just right when you're pulling it off. And that's, you know, that's it right there. So be in a 14-hour smoke, and there's no screwing up now.
Labor intensive.
Well, yeah, you've got thousands of dollars worth of meat on the smoker. And you're going, okay, you're tired, but you know, now's the nut cutting time. You know, you got to get it just.
That's right.
Right on everyone.
And also, what's funny about your business is any craft barbecue business is not a restaurant, because in an actual restaurant operations, you can train somebody to do something pretty quick. Most operations, and what you do. There's not any quick fix to find somebody. Hey, go man my smoker for me, or go cut that meat for me real quick. Yeah. It's just not the way it works.
Yeah, no, it's not. You know, you can. I've got some good people. I got a new guy right now that I'm training. But you know, it's such a long process because you've got to start with just what the meat is, how to trim it, how to prep it, how to season it. Right, you gotta learn all that first, and then the smoking deal. I still haven't figured out a way to teach it, to necessarily teach it, other than to say, hey, you're just gonna have to smoke with me for a few weeks.
Yeah, because doesn't everybody smoke a little bit? They're feeling a little bit different. I mean,
you know, it just comes down to it's just not it's not a science. It's definitely an art more than a science.
Yeah,
right. There's some scientific aspects to it that are about, like, you know, temperature and time and things like that. But you know, knowing, like, hey, you know, I need to put a little bit greener wood on now. You know, your coal base gets a little big, so you got to be careful about throwing this on. You got to know when to back your coals out so that you don't just combust something into a bunch of creosote. I mean, and it's like, I really, so I'm not gonna mention any names, but I had a boss once as an attorney that I used to. He used to drive me crazy. I'd just be like, man, like give me like a North Star here. Like I don't like every time I make a decision, it's the wrong one. You know what I mean? Like I think it's right and it's wrong. And so I feel bad because like I've been there, and then I feel like, with the guys, I'm like, I wouldn't have done that,
Yeah.
But like literally it's just like your mind doing it.
Well, you got to make a decision at some point.
The way I do it, and I can't ever show anybody exactly how I would do it. You know what I mean? But we do. So long story short, I still am very, very much over the meat smoking part of it. Every time I've turned it over,
it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's not good. I mean, and then it's just a lot of money.
Oh, it's a lot of money.
I mean, we're
not
all
only that,
small businesses.
It's quality, and it's got your name on it. So if it goes out, that's the thing now. And that thing now is that 20 years ago, 30 years ago, like when Angelo started, you could have a bad day, and it wouldn't matter. Nowadays, if you have a bad day, a customer may never come back. They might go somewhere else. That's the problem.
Right, because everybody's, it's just all reputation. So, you'd hate to have 20 briskets.
Oh,
not come out the way you want.
Add that up in your head.
Yeah, that's a lot of brisket chili.
Oh yeah,
that's where it goes.
Yeah,
it goes
that's
bad.
funny. Well, that's what Wendy's does with their hamburgers. If they cook them, they chop them up, put them in their chili.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, guys has got to have some way to figure out the process, I guess, to keep from losing your shirt.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'd rather put hamburger meat in there than smoked brisket.
Yeah,
but
what was
it's a great way.
What was the define? I want to ask you this before I forget it. What was the defining moment for you when you absolutely jumped off the thing and said, "I'm not doing being an attorney anymore. I'm going to go do this"? What was your defining moment? Do you remember that time? Do you remember that day? What was it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was my boss pissed me off like, to no end. It was basically that. I mean, here's the deal. I'd kind of like, so like built the logo, built the name, built the company virtually.
Right.
You right? And
had all the good stuff in place you needed.
Yeah, I kind of had all that out there and was kind of testing it out and everything. Yeah, you'll love this. You'll love this story. But anyway, yeah. So, anyways, like there was a final day where, we weren't seeing eye to eye, and look. I get it. I love the guy now, but like he'd stab you when he knew he could, he just like my brother will do me, just rib you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just wasn't up for it, and
you had enough.
And so I was, I mean, I pretty much, like, when I left Denton that day, I was like, I'm never coming back here. I mean, I still maintain my law license and everything, but I got nothing against being a lawyer, but I just had enough of that, and that entrepreneurial thing was hitting real hard. So that's not the problem. The problem was explaining it to the wife.
Oh, here we go.
You know what I mean? So
do you remember how did you say it to her? Do you remember that? Do you remember when you did that?
Are you kidding me? Hell yeah. Like it was yesterday.
So how'd you do it?
I told her to meet me. So we live over there in East Dallas, over there off of Peavy, where, I don't know if you're familiar with that area. We're good friends. Bar and Grill is up there, and I had a friend of mine I was working with at the time. I was like, man, go up there and sell Matt some brisket, I mean, at least we get some wholesale stuff moving here and there. And so I told her to meet me up there. There's a taco shop at the time next to it, Good to Go Taco.
Yeah.
They were on Triple D.
Yeah.
They're not there anymore, but so we were eating breakfast tacos, and I was like, look, I ain't going back to work. That's how I told her.
That's how you told her?
Yeah. I said, look, I can't take that shit anymore. And, like, I'm gonna give this a run, you know?
Yeah.
And like without her face changing in any way, just like 2 tears ran down. Like I was like, oh shit, like don't cry. I mean, you know, I mean, but like just she just, you know, she's like, what did I do? I'm sure she was thinking like I married a guy that was an attorney and a, you know, business student, and now he's just told me that he quit his job.
He's gonna sling barbecue
on a Friday.
On a Friday,
just random
at a taco shop.
At a taco shop. It's about all you get from me. I'm kind of blunt, but anyways, we were leaving there. I was like, look, I work with my dad, and I was like, Dad's got my back a little bit here, and he's retired, and he's gonna work with me. And we were standing in the parking lot, and it wasn't intentional to go up there, but she knew that we were trying to sell some brisket over there to the bar, and she was like, well, then go in there and sell Matt something brisket.
Yeah.
Right
now.
And that was her lunch break, and she went back to work, and so I literally went and sat at the bar and was like, Matt around? And it was the first time.
You did exactly what you were told, didn't you?
I did exactly what I was told, and I said, look, man, here's the deal. I'm not going back to work, and I know we've been tossing this ball around for a little while. You haven't met me. You've talked to my buddy, but I was like, let's just get this deal done. And he was like, all right. And I was like, well, hell, first sell. Day one, I was like, yeah, it's off to a good start.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, that was an intense moment. And, really from there, you just start working so much that there was really never a time to
flies by pretty quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, then, we weren't even married yet.
So that was your first customer. Are you still, or does he still?
No. One of my ex-business partners pissed him off real bad, and they stopped buying from us. But I mean, barbecue quality wasn't a deal. It was, but anyways, we're still good friends. No bad blood there, and those are great guys over there. A good friend. They make a good burger. Dealing with this COVID.
Oh,
I'd recommend everybody's, go check that place out.
I tell everybody support local. It's just these people, these guys that have these bars and nightclubs and stuff, they've not been open for months.
Yeah.
They either have extremely deep pockets, a friendly banker, or they're going to have to shut down. Those are the only 3 avenues.
It just doesn't pencil.
No, it doesn't.
I mean?
In no way, shape, or form is it pencil.
No. I mean, you go from, you imagine what some of these places do in a day, and listen, they're not all just getting rich hand over fist.
No.
I mean, they got employees and insurance and overhead, and then the government tells you shut it down. I mean, that's about as raw of a deal as anybody could get.
Listen, I got a friend of mine who's a big mixologist that does very well, and he posted on his Facebook the other day. He said, every morning when I get up, I laughed. I was crying, I laughed so hard. He said, every morning when I get up, all I'll think about is pushing old Governor Hot Wheels off a cliff so we can open up the bars again. I said, oh my God, Governor Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels.
Oh my God, that was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, so you can understand that's how he feels. He said some other explicit words, but I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
But that's how he feels, and I understand that. Right or wrong, I understand that. I think there may have been a different way to deal with this thing. And I don't think anybody really knew how to deal with it. I think they were throwing mud against the wall to see what stick to try to help deal with the situation.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, it's going to drive a lot of people. And here's what people don't understand. Like people sit in their offices or in their houses or whatever, they don't understand that bars, nightclubs, and restaurants pay a lot of taxes to keep the cities flowing.
Well,
roads, signage.
I was just talking to my wife about that. I was like, first of all, I mean, the thing is it's just a shitty situation, right? And we don't know what to do on all this. But anyways, the thing is, that's where the rubber's going to hit the road, is when these budget shortfalls start happening. I mean, because people don't pay taxes when they go to the grocery store.
No,
right? That's tax exempt.
Yeah, right.
So if everybody starts shopping grocery and stop buying steaks.
Right. It's a compounded effect that you're not going to see, I think, about a year and a half or so. And that's when it's really going to, like right now, I saw the other day, I was watching the news, and the city of Dallas is already trying to figure out what budgets they're going to cut. They were talking $7 million here, $6 million here, $5 million here.
It's the whole state of Texas.
And everything they were taking out of did not need to be cut.
Yeah.
Like the police officers, fund all stuff. It was like, what are you going to have less people protecting the city? I mean, it's just.
Yeah, well, they've cut. I mean, you know, and I'm not saying it's. Look, what do you do?
I know,
you know
nobody knows. Yeah.
I mean, you definitely don't want people dying in the streets, but at the same time, it's like they just cut retail, and retail is where all the damn sales tax dollars comes from. You know, so I mean, the comptroller's already put out reports, man. They're short. But
the average person doesn't. The average person just goes in, doesn't own a restaurant. Is not a bar owner. Is not a business owner. A small business owner doesn't it's out of sight, out of mind type deal. They don't. They really don't understand that, and it's just difficult.
Yeah. No. I mean, you know, and it's hard for anybody to understand the small business mindset, anyways. I mean,
it's a different breed, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, and to think about some of the, you know, we've been fortunate to you know, as to go small footprint, low cost operation. To be able to be where we are, but man, you know, some of these people spent their whole lives
big operations,
never, you know, paid their taxes, did everything right, got good employees, and then just
bam,
gone.
So you talk about your operation. Let's talk about, you're kind of a grocery store style set up. Let's talk about your store a little bit. Actually, I have some pictures. Ron, can we throw those pictures up there? I want to show people some pictures of some of the few of their barbecue dishes. Well, not that one. That's the one. That's the one of the guy.
That's my grandpa.
Dude, wait. See how big that celery is?
Yeah, it's huge.
He's a guy in England, and he grows. He's a retired guy, and he grows. His whole thing is to grow the biggest vegetables he can grow in his garden. Yeah. And he just pulled that out yesterday. Look at that celery.
Good night.
Isn't that crazy? He had a tomato he was holding like this.
Are you kidding me?
I'm kidding you. It's huge. So yeah. So this is some of his dishes. What is this, Kyle?
That's the smoked pork belly sandwich. So it's kind of like a banh mi style. It's got
it looks good.
It's got some cherry jalapeno barbecue sauce with some pickled slaw and cilantro. And then we take the pork bellies. We actually use pork belly for two different reasons. We actually cure it into bacon, so we make our own bacon. And then this is going to be an uncured product that we just smoke for a longer period of time till it gets pretty tender.
Awesome.
We cut it up and put it on.
It looks delicious. I love the banh mi style, and of course we know that's some brisket, some sausage, ribs.
Oh yeah.
That brisket, that bark, I call that barkalicious. There it is right there. Yeah. I love bark.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's the flavor.
I would just eat bark if I could.
Yeah, that's the fat. Yeah,
yeah. I guess that's why burns are so tasty, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's got all the smoke flavor.
Yeah. So what is your in your market? It's set up kind of like a market style. People come in. You were set up to go before COVID hit anyway.
Right. So I mean, you know, when you come to our shop, you know, don't expect to eat there, right? So we're pretty much, we get your barbecue out and to go. So we have a full barbecue menu plus a bunch of specialty sandwiches that we do with like our smoked beef tenderloin. We make our own pastrami. We got a really nice deli turkey that we make in house. We cure our own ham and everything like that.
You do, and you cure your own bacon.
Cure our own bacon. Cure our own pastrami. And then we got a duck sandwich.
A duck's that
got us on Food Network.
I love that. I love duck.
Do you?
Oh man.
Oh, I got it. Well, when you come by, text me because I'll make sure that we get that just right. But then we also have when you ask about the kind of like the grocery component, what we do is and kind of where we started is we have a bunch of different types of meats that are cryovac and like sous vide bags, you know, and it's all high end packaging process that we go through. It's not like, you know, I've seen some places that basically look like they're kind of packaging up their leftovers and selling it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not that. It's not that. I mean, it goes into the process for the purpose of ending up being that product.
Right.
And so there's a
quality in, quality out.
Yeah, there's a whole process behind it, but what it leads to is that if you're not looking to come in and get a barbecue sandwich or barbecue for lunch, it's a great way to have barbecue later on that evening or later on that week without having to try to take like some hot fresh barbecue out of the back and then microwave it.
Right. That won't work. Yeah.
It just, I mean, people do it, and if I'm there, I always like to have the conversation because you'll get a little old lady that comes in and says, "I need 5 pounds of barbecue," and I'm like, "Well, you're not eating that." And so when are you gonna eat it? Oh, well, it's for dinner tomorrow or it's for dinner tonight, and I'm like, well, how are you gonna reheat it? Right? Because obviously it's not gonna be hot anymore.
Right.
And they always invariably ask, well, how should I? And I'm like, well, look, instead of me slicing off some barbecue over here that's just going to oxidize up and not look right, I've got this product over here, and all you have to do is soak it in some warm water for about 10 minutes. And then when it comes out, it's in the window, you know what I mean, of like good
when you say in the window, it's in the eating window. Yeah.
Right, yeah, like every piece of meat has a window, right? You know, like when it's badass, like
that's right.
So like when you get that duck breast, it's like killer for 20 minutes.
When it's in Deliciousville.
When it's in Deliciousville.
That's right.
Once it passes that, it can never go back.
Right? No, it can't.
You know,
you can do anything you want to. It ain't going to go back.
Can't go backwards. But if we can freeze it, if we can freeze the window and then deliver the window to you.
So see, this is an interesting concept to me. So do you think that going to school first and being an attorney and doing what you did there helped you, instead of serving a mediocre product somebody's going to take home? Do you think that it helped you in the process of finding the proper way to do it to where you're proud of it?
I mean, so going to school, in law school in particular, it just teaches you how to think, analyze, and that's a problem. Right. I mean, that's a problem that needed solving, because it just needed solving. It doesn't matter where you go. I mean, you run down to Pecan Lodge, Terry Black's, both outstanding products.
Right.
Any of these places, you're in the window when you get it.
Right.
And then when you get home, you're not in the window. No, it's not going to be bad.
Right.
You know,
it's not going to be like eating right there.
It's just not going to be like eating it right there. Yeah. And the way we get this all done, it is like you were just right there.
Yeah.
I would challenge anybody to tell me that it's not, you know? So it's not.
How did you come up with that process? Did you think about it? Did you get somebody, did you talk to somebody, or did you just play with it?
I was just playing with it, you know? Well, here's the deal. I mean, when you're back there cooking for a hobby, and it's just you and your girlfriend at the time.
Yeah. It better not be now.
She's my wife. I made her an honest woman. No, you know, so you just end up with a lot of meat, you know?
Right.
And so the idea came from there. We perfected the process later. But that just kind of, it's just a natural
progression.
Natural progression. Yeah.
So we got some stuff we're going to bring in. I guess they're going to bring in here in a few minutes. We got some of your product coming in, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait to put it on the table. Anyway, so I guess that's been well received, because I was looking at, a lot of people shared the poster, and we were going through this morning. I was looking at this. There was a lot of people that had a lot of great things to say about you. So obviously the process you perfected, which people like. So
yeah, no, I mean, it's you know, there's a little bit of a curve there, right? Because everybody kind of like, you know, just has this 1-to-1 correlation.
Yeah, slide that back a little. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, well, I brought you a turkey leg.
Oh boy. Thank you so much. Perfect. I'm gonna set this. I'm gonna set my octopus back here. Look at that cup. Look at that thing.
That's killer.
Yeah, I'm gonna set that octopus back there. We're gonna do something about that table, Ron. Look at all these.
I've got this exact table.
Do you?
Yeah, in my barbecue kitchen.
All this stuff looks fantastic. Let me look at that turkey leg right there. Good gosh. Hold that up a minute, will you? Can you hold that up? I want people to see it. Look at that. Look at that thing.
It's a little guy.
God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so what are these two sandwiches right here?
We've got a brisket and a pulled pork sandwich that's on our brioche bun that's baked fresh by a local bakery for us.
I tell everybody, and I'm a firm believer in this. You know, I do a burger contest every year. I spend 12 months eating burgers all year long around North Texas. And to me, a bun absolutely makes a sandwich. It can make or break a sandwich, period. End of story.
End of story, and absolutely, you know, I mean, so growing up, go to barbecue places, sometimes they give you bread and everything. Right. So I just want to tell you this little quick story that I would always take the time, right, to build me a barbecue sandwich.
Okay.
Right? Like when you go to the barbecue places, because a lot of them don't offer sandwiches.
You're right.
And
when you were a kid, you would do this?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I would build up the sandwich. I'd put my pickles and onions on there and my own sauce and everything. And then, you know, that was the other thing that when we started kind of getting in the barbecue deal, the brisket sandwich is by far our most popular item out there because I think there's more people doing it now. But for the longest time, you know, if you ordered a brisket sandwich, they're like, $8, $7. Yeah. And it's a you know, little cheap 10-cent bun. Yeah. And you know, and they're like, here's your meat and go on. But we layer it with the pickles, the pickled red onions, and then adding that expensive bread.
Yeah, I mean, just look how big that thing is. Look at that.
Yeah.
That thing is huge.
The other thing is that the brisket, you know, like a lot of times when you get brisket sandwiches, you know, the meat's tough, right? Yeah. And it wants to pull off your deal. Yeah. And so, like, you know, getting that sliced brisket to where it's like, you know, like you would expect it on a plate, and you bite right through it, you get all the elements.
So what do you think? Don't you think that when briskets, like when I was a kid, brisket sandwiches, they would use they would use that meat that was maybe a leftover meat from the day before, or tougher or something that they couldn't, you know?
Right. Right.
I think that's where it came from.
It's kind of like the afterthought.
Afterthought, yeah.
Right, but
that is absolutely not the afterthought. That sandwich right
there.
No,
it's like we take the most, you know, premium brisket that we got, and we lay it out, and you know, I just basically trying to make the best brisket sandwich in the world. I
love that bun. I can tell right now I'm gonna like the way that bun tastes. I just love the way it looks. That's a big bun too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a local bakery out of they're in Garland. I don't know if I can say their name or anything.
Oh, you can say their name.
Yeah, so Chris over at La Francaise makes...
Say it one more time.
La Francaise.
La Francaise?
Yeah.
That name just sounds good.
Yeah, it's I
got a La Francaise like bun.
Multi-generation baker over there, and they make some really good bread. It's expensive.
That's you know what though? Quality.
Yeah.
And you're supporting local, which is awesome. You got a local business supporting a local business. Now, how much better can that be?
Well,
you know, you're not ordering some bun that's coming in from wherever they come in, which that does happen. Yeah. And you got so it's an awesome deal.
Yeah.
And you've got the sausage here. These are your sausage, correct?
Yeah.
Man, these sausage. Look at that sausage right there. Oh Lord, that looks delicious. What kind of sausage is that? You know?
Yeah, that's going to be a hatch.
Oh, your hatch
chili. Yeah, cheddar.
So on your sausages, do you change them up every month, or do you have a staple that you keep with all the time?
We have an andouille and a jalapeno cheddar, and this is basically our jalapeno cheddar recipe, but we roasted like 60 pounds of hatch chilies and put it in there in place of the...
I love hatch chilies. Yeah. They just have a flavor that you can't emulate from anywhere.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah. They're fantastic.
I went to the farmer's market in Garland, because I don't just do restaurants. I mean, I go everywhere. I go to farmers markets. I go everywhere, you know.
Right.
And they had a big hatch green deal out there roasting. I smell we bought a bunch. You know, it just smells good just even roasted to me.
Oh yeah, no, I mean if you're in the presence of roasted hatch chilies, I mean you're in heaven.
It's kind of like my spidey senses, foodie senses just go nuts.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I know, and it really is. So like when we're out of hatch season, we have a sandwich that was born in hatch season. It was also the sandwich was on Food Network. And when we're out of the the season where those are readily available, we switched to poblano, and it's still really good.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But when there, you can tell a difference.
Yeah.
You know, when you're smoking that, when you're roasting the hatches.
Yeah, it's a big difference. So what is your favorite product that you do? You have a favorite product that you sell out there that you, if someone came into you, they never tried your stuff, they would say, hey, what is your favorite thing? What should I try the first time?
You gotta try the brisket. I mean, it's what brought us to the dance. I mean, we so I've got some favorites, like sandwiches, like our Reuben with our house made pastrami, which we don't use brisket to make. We actually use a real lean cut of eye around.
Right.
And it's a fantastic sandwich. But if it's your first time over there, you got to get something with brisket on it.
I love what you just said. I haven't heard anybody say it in a long time. My granddad, we were to say something, and my dad would say it too. They would say something. They would, what do you do? What should we do? And he'd always say, "Dance with the one who brung you." That's what you do.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of exactly what you just said, which I haven't heard anybody say in a long time.
Yeah. It brought us to the dance. That's the brisket, and the brisket sandwich for us. I mean, when we started out, we were making brisket sandwiches at farmers markets, and quite honestly, at the time, it was easy because nobody had a brisket sandwich that tastes like that. I mean, just hands down.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
But if you watch barbecue right now, that's what happens though. Someone does something good, and then everybody figures out if it's going to work or not. And then once they see it work, then here they go. Everybody tries to put a twist on it, and bam, 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 bam.
Right. Yeah. So you see it out there now. People are investing in the higher quality bread and taking a little bit more time to do that. But that's where I would start. If you come by the shop, we also make plates. We got rib plates. We can do multi meat, multi sides. Kind of it comes in a tray with to-go container.
Oh,
you just
nice.
pop it open, and it's compartmentalized and everything.
Do y'all ship out of Dallas?
Yes. And that's actually a great point. I should mention that. So the product that we get into that grocery style it packs well, travels well. We've sent it to other countries too, really.
That's awesome.
But most states, I think, I can't think of one. I don't think we sent anything to Hawaii, but most all the other ones.
Why have Texas barbecue has become so popular and such an icon now all over the world? Uh-huh. Why haven't the rest of the barbecue people tried to change some of their techniques to where they're more like the Texas style? Because obviously it's a segment that's growing so fast people can't keep up with it. But yet you go to other states, because when I travel around, I go to other barbecue joints all over the United States, and it's just never the same. It's kind of a letdown to me, a little bit.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they got brisket figured out. I mean, when you say Texas barbecue, I'm thinking basically dry rub and brisket. Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. I don't know. I believe I've seen multiple examples of expat Texans making a pretty good living in other locations because of that exact reason.
Yeah, because people leave here and go there. Yes,
and then they start performing that over there. But I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the price of real estate in northern. Because you kind of have to have an outlay in order to do the meat smoking. Probably got regulations people don't like. I don't know.
All I know is you can't replace deliciousness. And once you've had it, if you go somewhere else, it's just never the dadgum same ever.
Yeah, no. It's like trying to get Mexican food north of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a good analogy. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's another thing that just Northerners haven't figured out.
Our social media now has gotten so big that I watch it. I watch it tick every day. Man, I look at graphics. We have people all over the United States and different countries, looking at us. And the two things I get all the time is we can't get good Mexican food where we are, and we can't get good barbecue. Those are the two biggest things. Some people talk about fried chicken, but they're just probably not going to the right places. But it's just I get that all the time.
Yeah, I can't remember where I was. I was somewhere in northern Oklahoma. With my wife, and we stopped at a little Mexican place. Looked promising, right? looked real Tex-Mex, and it was like a bowl of ketchup with onions as the salsa. And I was like, come on, like you can't. Do they not grow cilantro Oklahoma.
There's so much. Let me tell you something. Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Austin. There are so many talented chefs, whether they're celebrity chefs or just regular chefs or food trucks even, that just blow your mind with creations and dishes and flavor profiles. It's absolutely phenomenal what we have here.
Yeah.
We're spoiled.
Yeah,
you are absolutely spoiled because anywhere else I go, like it's just not the same. It's not the same flavors.
Yeah. I
think people settle.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, it's probably a function of cost and economy and what people are willing to pay for and what people aren't. You know, because you know, to make that really delicious dish, you got to get the fresh vegetables, you got to get the fresh meat. Obviously, it's gonna be a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you're in you know, some podunk town, you know, people probably scoff at a $10 brisket sandwich. You know what I mean?
They might, yeah. No, you're right. So listen, before COVID, let's go pre-COVID. Before pre-COVID, what was your most challenging aspect of leaving and getting in the barbecue business? What was the most challenging aspect for you?
Oh, no, I mean, I don't even know. Like everything was a challenge. I mean, you know, like the work, the getting it going, the doing it, the supplying it. I mean, the one side is the logo and but then the you know, the dirty underbelly is the sleeping on the stainless steel table while your brisket's
smoking.
Finished. Yeah, I mean, you know,
I'm sure the decision for you to go tell your wife was probably the hardest. I mean, it would be for me. Yeah. I mean, if I was going to go tell my girlfriend and my wife that live with me that I was going to do something new and I may not have an income. That just doesn't ever go over real well.
No, I mean, but she was real supportive. Yeah. I mean, you know, so yeah, that was a little bit of a challenge, but I kind of made the decision final before I told her. Yeah. Which made it a little bit easier because I was like, if you don't like it, I mean, it's done.
Yeah.
So,
is there anything y'all have coming up, or y'all? I guess there's no events or anything. So y'all do anything special at the store or anything?
Yeah, I mean, so we're gonna have these ginormous turkey legs available during fair season, so to kind of cure the ills of people's withdrawals.
So they can come by and get those big turkey legs.
Yeah, come by and get those, and then you know, so we might as well mention it here. We do ship. I've got my big commissary. So like when you come by the shop, you're going to go, hey man, this is like 1,000 square feet. But, behind the scenes over the past, you know, several years, I've built this like barbecue. That's where you really should come because you just blow your mind. I mean, like, it's like way cart before the horse, right? Yeah. I mean, like I can produce like tons of meat, right? Got a bunch of smokers, huge barbecue place. That's kind of like hidden, but full commissary kitchen where we can knock out a ton of turkeys. We're gonna do a ton of spiral hams. So you know,
for holidays,
we're gonna get the holiday menu up here in probably about 4 or 5 days and start pre-selling.
Let's say that. Speaking real quick, is it 190smokemeats.com? What's the website?
190smokemeats.com will get you there.
Okay, 190smokemeats.com.
You'll see a little tab up at the top that says order package meats, and that'll get you to our online store. So if you know any of you guys are out there want a Texas style bird, we're gonna do the small big turkeys. We brine them for 2 days, and then you know, make them super juicy.
Super juice, succulent.
I
just love that word. Yeah. All right, so we get all this, and then the turkey legs. How long are those going to run? How long are turkey legs going to run? Just for the month of the fair?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, like we've got that
thing just looks delicious.
We got it set up to have quite a few of them during the fair. I mean, if people keep coming back for them, we'll put them on the menu.
Awesome.
You know?
Awesome. And then they can get all the rest of the stuff here: sausage, Hatch green chili sausage. That's gonna be really cool.
Yep. And you can order the brisket, the sausages. You can order all that online. It'll come cryovac with instructions.
Easy.
It's a 10-minute process. Pop it open. You're in the window for 20 minutes.
The delicious window.
The deliciousness window.
Kyle, thanks so much for coming, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Enjoyed talking to you.
Absolutely.
Mr. 190. Okay, y'all. Same time, same bat channel next week. I want y'all to go to the website, www.treyschatman.com. All of our stuff's on there. We have our restaurant guide. We have a barbecue guide. We have our show guide. We have all of our social media. I want to thank everybody for pumping us on social media. We had our first 2 million reaches last week, reached over 2.2 million people in 1 week, and had engagements of almost 500,000, which to us is phenomenal. We had no idea it was going to be that big when we started this thing a decade ago, and it's all because of y'all and people who love to eat, and, of course, the guys like Kyle over here that do it all for us. So same time, same bat channel next week. See y'all 10 a.m., Tune in and enjoy everything. Until then, please support local. Support local. Go out, buy something, eat something, take it home, deliver it, whatever you got to do. Order it online. See y'all next week. Thank you. Hi, I'm Trey Chapman, publisher of Trey'sChowdown.com. I'm passionate about finding the best food, drinks, and chefs and sharing it all with you. I should know I have over 5 decades of food experience. Find me on any podcast platform, Facebook Live, or just Google me. Now you can watch and listen to all my great finds every week on my live TV and radio podcast at Trey's Chowdown Live.